Alright, so the flashback stages are pretty self-explanatory and pretty straightforward, in my opinion. I've tried to call you dozens of times. Where are you? Please call me back and let me know you're okay. If I don't hear back in an hour, I'm coming over there. So there's no pages for us to find, no generators for us to activate, thank God. No Slender Man that's going to screw with our camera. No Kate that's going to come up from the mine shaft and kill me. Though that would suck if she could. No, there's only one thing we have to really find here. And it's an entrance to another stage. And it's in this area. We're going to be doing that within like 2 minutes. Kate, leaving this note in case you wake up tonight. I'm going to assume you don't remember what happened. I came over to check on you and found you out in that park behind the house. You had a broken video camera with you and a bag full of weird drawings. I don't know what happened out there. But you're safe now. The doctors here will help you. CR. So there is another glitch we can do in this stage as well. If you walk down a slope or off an edge that you can fall off of while holding the run button and holding forward, if you pause and unpause the game repeatedly, this happens. You just sort of start flying. Now, this levitation glitch is actually how we skip 90% of the prologue. And allows us to beat that stage in like a minute. It skips Kate's house and all that. So if we keep hanging to the left, we'll actually clip through these rocks, going out of bounds. Doing that, we can perform a death warp, which will allow us to skip 90% of this stage. Actually, more like 99% of it, so. Yeah. If we follow this cliffside, we'll eventually come up to a teddy bear sitting right here. Now, this bear is the entrance to the next stage. So this stage is a little bit plot related, as this stage actually gives us the backstory of what happened to Charlie and how he disappeared. So, at some angles, I think this water graphic looks absolutely fantastic. Other times and angles, it doesn't look very flattering. So there's one thing we have to really find in this stage, it's just pieces of toys. Which reminds me of that one Family Guy episode where James Woods takes over Peter's life, and Peter and Brian use the very, very effective box and stick trap to capture James Woods. And they lure him to their trap with a trail of candy. I think it's jelly beans, actually. But that's what this stage reminds me of. It's like, ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of toy. Ooh, a piece of toy. Ooh, a piece of toy. But the toys are very easy to find, as they shine very, very brightly and sparkle. So you can see them from quite a ways off. So you'll never actually really be lost in this stage. Now, there is one more thing I want to bring up about this stage. I think that this stage has absolutely fantastic sound design. Because the further and further away from Charlie's parents you get, the more and more worried they start sounding. And I think that's fantastic sound direction for this game. I think it adds a bit more life to the game and adds an extra layer of depth. And I think that's really good game design in terms of its sound direction. So there's one more thing that can be found here, though it's more like it finds us. And it's just around the corner here. Should be right here. Pipe cleaners! Now the pipe cleaners here, these are actually... these pipe cleaners are actually Slender Man's tentacles. So we're gonna let them catch us. And that will conclude this stage. So So that is what happened to Charlie. He was caught and captured by the Slender Man. Now, if you remember in the previous stage, I brought up Kate and how she's what happens if the Slender Man catches you. So that character I called Charlie in the very beginning of the game, in the prologue, that was Charlie Matheson Jr. He was the missing kid. He was turned into a proxy by the Slender Man. So, yeah. So, coming through this cave, we are pretty much coming up close on endgame. This is pretty much the last area of the game before the final stretch. Apparently someone wanted to die. I missed a numbered file! Outside, I need to die before it catches me. I'm sorry for any part that's my fault. Everything's leaking out the back of my head. Hands have teeth. Hands have teeth! That sounds like a terrible plot device for a movie. A body part having teeth. Please tell no one I loved them. It's back now. Hide. So there's 2 more stages we can do here. We have an oddly labeled videotape with a picture of... it looks like a page on it. And the Matheson family homestead. This is the stage we're going to be doing first. Kate, I've been doing some digging and came across an old plot of land that belonged to the Matheson family a ways back. Charles was known to take his wife Diane and his son Charlie to the old homestead for family picnics. I never imagined what I would see there. I think Charlie may have seen something. Something he was never meant to see. Enclosed is a recording of my findings and some documents I came across. We're dealing with something dark here, Kate. Something I can't explain. CR. Alright, so interact with the TV when you're ready. Oh, bullshit. No VHS looks this good. Anyway, now we take control of CR. Coming around back of this car first, we can actually come across a little bit of an Easter egg as to the location and setting of where this game takes place. This game takes place in Canada. Hey, how about that? So instead of going to the left first, we can actually head into this house first and foremost. Now there is another file we can pick up here. It's right here. We're gonna leave that for right now, as if we keep going back here and look up here, keep this hole in mind, as that's for later. So now heading back to that file and picking it up. Rose, we're going into the cellar tonight for another game of hide and seek. Father won't return from his errand to Red Deer until the morning, and Mom says he found a lantern so he can take us in there after dark. If we all meet by the chapel after tonight's dinner. I know you hate the dark. That's not what it says. I know you hate the rancid smell of petrol down there, but it'll be fun, I promise. Maggie, P.S. Don't tell Patty. She'll tell on us. Here's a little secret about me. I am terrible at reading cursive. I can read it, it's just very difficult for me. So now if we head back into this barn, we'll head into it for the first time. There's another file for us to find here. It's right here. All hail the Slender Man, King of the Ring of Fire. Now if we head up here, we can actually open the next part to the stage. Heading out the back of the barn, we can progress on. Do not worry about the silo. Right now we cannot progress through there, as there's an invisible wall in there. It's about right where this metal pole is, this metal pipe. That's about where the invisible wall is, so that prevents us from progressing through there. It is plot related, it's just not right now. Alright, so heading out through the wheat field. We travel through this wheat field 3 times. The first time, it's perfectly safe. Nothing to worry about. The other 2 times, not so much. More on that in a bit. However, we have to go where that file told us. We have to head into the cellar, which is through the wheat field. Over by the windmill. Now this is one of my least favorite parts of the game. I hate the cellar, because you don't have a flashlight. It's dark. The lights flicker. And Charlie's down here as well. So, oh, shoot, didn't get lucky on the gas canister. So if we come in here, nice. Good spawning on the gas canister. So there isn't one more file we can pick up here. It's right here. Granny Richter's Big Book of Stories, Volume 1. No, not Richter Belmont. So if we continue on down out of here, because I don't like the cellar. Do not dawdle in the wheat field now. Because now Charlie's out and about in the wheat field. And he's going to be the next 2 times we travel through here. Well, the next time as well. This time and the 3rd time. So. Charlie is a one-hit kill, so don't waste time. Heading back through this little shack, or cabin, or whatever it is. We can now activate the generator because we have our gas canister. There is 2 gas canisters over there, and I believe you need to find both in order to activate this generator in hardcore mode. Right, another file here. All wheat and barley should be stored in a subterranean cellar for cold storage, which is probably what the cellar is used for. I'm not 100% sure. There is one more file we can pick up here. That file is right over here. And it's another picture by Charlie of the family picnics. Now there's one thing for us to really find out here. Technically 2 if you want to count the file. There's a key. It's a gate key that will allow us to progress through the wheat field again. Now, it's not over here. There's multiple places the key can spawn. It can spawn on the wheelbarrow over there. It can spawn by the treehouse. It can spawn in this shed. And it doesn't look like it did. But there is a file here. And in this file, you can actually see the Slender Man in the background there. So that's something. So it seems like the key spawned over here. This is usually the most common place it'll spawn. Now there is another glitch we can do over here. If you crouch down around this area and do small movements back and forth, you can do another variation of fence float, which CR will travel up this fence post. And in conjunction with a seam walk, we can skip the majority of this stage. So that's something. Now, it's a shame you can't navigate through the silo, because that would cut out another enormous chunk of this stage. If you could just navigate the silo without needing to go into the cellar. As a Canadian, I can confirm it gets this dark that fast. Alright, so now we have to head back out into the dangerous wheat field. Just make a beeline directly for the gate. Now there should be something coming up here right away. There it is. I don't know what the clicking is all about, but I don't know if it's supposed to be unnerving, unsettling, scary. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I just find it more distracting than anything. Makes you want to go explore the wheat field trying to find the source of it, which will probably get Charlie to kill you. So once we're out of the wheat field and at that gate, not having to worry about Charlie anymore, we can actually progress into the church, which is our next plot location. There is a file right here we can pick up. I seek only salvation for myself and my family from our demon, sent to torment my life. I brought the devil's wrath upon my family. I did this. I went searching for this demon. I brought him into our lives. I invoked his arrival. How could I have been so blind as to manifest such evil? Why could I not let old legends die? I alone should bear this burden. Why must my grandchildren suffer for my transgression? My impudence? They'll never come home. That archfiend has them now. We all must bear this burden. We must all repent for our ignorance, and rid this world of this demon for good. None shall confront this evil ever again. It dies with us. May the fire cleanse our souls and burn our sins. Freda Matheson. Bye, Slendy. Bye, Slendy. So there is something for us to pick up here. We have... Is that a file? It is a file. Look at that. Walter Matheson. So, picking up all these toys will actually trigger him, yeah. I thought Charlie only triggered when you picked up all the toys. I didn't think he triggered that quick. He might be on a timer now that I think about it. But just wait for him to pass, and we can progress on back towards the house. There's 4 more files for us to pick up in the house. They're all up here. There's one here. There's one over here. Dearest Diary. Patricia still has yet to come home. It starts getting really difficult for me to read this. Because of all the dark spots on the page, certain words are blotted out for me, so... yeah. I will leave the rest of the files in the comments below. So there is another file here we can pick up, and one more here we can pick up. Alright. So now, if we head this way, point at this angle, because this will actually give us a head start. Fall down here, Charlie will bust down that door, and we get a head start on him. But with that, Homestead is done. Alright, grab the other videotape and interact with the TV when you're ready. Ain't this reminiscent of the old Slender games? We now take control of Kate. We take control of the original protagonist. How about that? Now, there's only one thing we have to do in this game. In this level, we secure the house by closing all the windows and doors. I don't know in what state of mind you have to be in to leave the windows and the doors to your house open. Just wide open. That seems like a terrible, terrible idea, and it's like all the windows and doors, like the front and back door, like that's just a bad idea in general. There is one more door I have to shut, and it's actually around back. It's right there. Why am I in here? Alright, now that the windows and doors are closed, Slender should be coming into the house right away. He's here! Alright, now that he's in the house, you basically book it back to your room. And that will actually end the stage.